Dear SoU, thank you for growing and developing into something even more meaningful, impactful, and relevant than I could have ever previously imagined. I often have a hard time trying to name my specific role when it comes to my relationship to you. On paper, I am the CEO of the Department of Imaginary Affairs. And so my formal relationship to you is that I run the organization that houses your funding, your intellectual property, and I'm responsible for your administration and evaluation. But I see my role as so much more than that, and you have helped me to discover that the roles we play in our personal lives and the way we care about our work defines us so much more than our job descriptions. So instead, I like to identify myself as your mother, your guardian, your observer, your protector, and your advocate. I've seen these different roles show up for me in times that you've been with us, and I see them very much mirroring how I've been raising my own children. You were very much like one of my children. You are nearing your 3rd birthday, and I have seen you develop and reach milestones far beyond the ones that we could have ever planned for you. You have exceeded expectations. You have shown us your own versions of success. You have challenged us. You have made us rethink our own biases and perspectives. And you've grown from a home of love and care, even in times of uncertainty. I don't know if you know this. You were a first in so many ways. You are the first ESL library in Canada that is filled only with stories of newcomers. That's the first that you're most well known for. But you're also the first project that we applied for government contribution for, the first one we were successful at getting, the first project where we tested the concept of having design champions, and the first one where we hired someone to run and care for you. Being first often means you are charting your own paths, and as the people who are there with you, we are learning alongside you. Throughout this process, we all stumbled at times and had to navigate next steps. There is no manual for the ups and downs that we have faced together. What I find myself compelled to share with you now is how grateful I am to have been with you on your journey and to be one of your caregivers. You may not remember this, but you were born within weeks of my second-born human child. You're nearly twins. And so within those first months of newborn fog, I wasn't able to fully care for both of you. So I relied on others to take care of you. I relied heavily on Blair to be the stability that you needed until we found Mothera. With you in Mothera's care, I have seen you flourish. She knows you better than anyone else ever can or will. The two of you have pushed each other to be better. I think a big contributing factor to your success has been that Mothera never thought of herself as your only caregiver. She didn't try to hoard that responsibility or opportunity, or think that she would be the only one that could take care of you in the way you needed. She recognized your need to be surrounded by caregivers, past, present, and future. One of those key relationships was with some of your original caregivers, your design champions, or the ANs as we affectionately call them. They're like your aunties. They were there from the very beginning. They're a part of your origin story. Without them, you may not even exist. I thought that they would be the ones to make sure we were raising you properly and offer us advice when we needed it. But they've given you so much more than that. They've given you wisdom and the ability to be more than what we could have done on our own. And they've been some of your biggest cheerleaders. In the safety of care from people like the Anns, Mothera continued to look for present and future caregivers. At times, we thought that this role could be played by anyone, but actually, it takes a really special kind of care. It requires patience with you and with your ways of showing up. It requires your caregivers to be as vulnerable and open to going on a journey with you. It requires caregivers who don't think that they have all the answers about how you should exist, but instead see their role as someone who can let you shine. This is where I'm grateful for the way that you've been able to form with relationships with people like Teresa and Marie and Joanna and Sarmini and so many others. So now I can look back at your life and be grateful for the caregivers that you have had so far, and in many ways that eases my guilt for not being present enough at times when maybe you needed more from me. As we close this first chapter of your life, I would like you to know how much you have impacted me in ways that go far beyond what we committed to in the original funding proposal and agreement. Your uniquely special way of touching people's hearts and minds has set an extremely high bar, and we will probably forever compare you to future children, even though I know we shouldn't. Well, I don't know exactly what comes next in your journey. What you have taught me is that when we center the responsibility to care and love and nourish our children, then we also have to make sure that any and all future caregivers do the same. And that may look different for each of your caregivers, but it is core to how you thrive.